So here we are with Our Voice, and we have an opportunity to talk to head coach of the Idaho Steelheads, Neil Graham, and I'm so excited to have you here on the show, on the set. We're kind of in front of the penalty box, so the first thing I want to know, is this a familiar area for you?
Well, this is actually the visitor's box. So that's
Okay,
yeah, so
not a familiar area.
Yeah, well, not a familiar area. Maybe a few glares down the other side here and there, but didn't get too many penalties when I played, but tried to play hard nonetheless.
Okay, so up until like not that long ago, you were the youngest coach in the ECHL league, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of an uncanny thing. Do you think that was a good thing for you? Worked to your advantage in a sense?
Yeah, well, I think it's a positive. I mean, you can look at it many different ways, and something we had talked about is, the cynics would say, is he old enough to control respect in the room, control the players, and to be honest, I think I related well to my guys, and I definitely had a good understanding where they were coming from. I hadn't been stopped playing that long myself, and it's a grind. 72 regular season games. You can play over 100 great games with playoffs if you go all year, and you need to know when to push them a little harder, and maybe when to ease off and give them an extra day here or two. And I like to think that's something being a younger coach really helped decide in some of those areas.
Right, so you could relate to them, and one of the things that we did chat about was they could really pick up whether or not you were authentic. I mean, that authenticity, and I think because hockey is such an intuitive sport. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think, there's many different ways to coach a team. There's a lot of different styles, and I'm not convinced there's one way better than the next. But I think at the end of the day, you have to be yourself, and the players will know when you're not. If if you're trying to be fake or you're trying to force something that's not quite yourself, they'll sniff it out pretty quick. So I really tried to be myself, and I'm a upbeat, positive guy by nature, and that's what I tried to bring into the room every day, and I think my players respected that.
I'm sure you have some really great stories. Are there significant turning points, you as a player, you as a coach? Because you weren't playing that long ago, right? I mean, so is there some turning point for you that happened in both those arenas?
Yeah, no, I think over the course of my playing career, there were several turning points or several key moments that I remember specifically, and a light bulb moment kind of for myself was, I was 17. It was after my first year of junior A. It was my first year moving away from home 3 hours to play junior hockey. I got on board with a real good strength and conditioning coach in the summer named Doug Crashley. He was a mentor, as a guy I looked up to, as well as someone always pushed me to get better. And it was more away from the actual hockey stuff, but it was the strength and conditioning side, and improving some of those details. And the following year was a breakthrough year for me, and really started talking to a lot of NCAA schools. And the year after that is when I committed to a D1 school, and kind of set my path in the right direction to continue into pro hockey after that. So that's definitely a moment that I'll always remember as a player, and I'll be forever grateful to Doug and his training crew at Crash Conditioning in Calgary, Alberta. So a little shout out to him.
Yeah, and as a coach, significant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to look too far. Being my first year, it was a pretty neat season for us in Idaho, and I was laughing. My mother-in-law actually gives me a hard time and says, you always said it would take 20-25 games for the team to really click, being so much change from the year before, and that's what I predicted. And we started the year a little slower. We were 7-14 and 4 or whatever it may have been, and we weren't playing poorly. We weren't a bad hockey team. We just weren't finding ways to win. There was that light bulb moment, game 26. We were in Tulsa. I had spoken with our team president that morning, and I remember saying to him specifically, we lost the night before, and I said, tonight's going to be the start of the turnaround. And I said, the guys are all in. I said, we haven't had as many wins as we want, but the guys are all in. I can tell them it's going to turn around. And it was pretty special. We won 7 in a row at that point to get us back to 500. And then really the rest of the season took off and finished on a 31-10-6 run.
So parents out there who are getting their kids involved in sports, do you have any recommendation or advice you could give them?
I let the kids play. Let them play as many sports as they can. Let them have fun. And at the end of the day, it's good to be encouraging, but don't push them to the point where they don't want to play. And it's important to let them develop, and have fun. Playing multiple sports is how you develop athletes. And even when I played hockey, it wasn't until I was in high school where I still played golf in the summer. I still had a summer sport. I still had a winter
hockey
sport.
players play golf.
Yeah,
right?
and I played baseball right up into high school, and I played soccer and lacrosse, and that's how you develop athletes. Play sports, have fun. Kids are competitive. They're going to push themselves. They're going to want to win. They're going to want to do the extras. But if you can get them into things that they want to do, let them do it and have fun.
Awesome advice. Great to meet you, and I'm so honored, that you are part of the Steelheads, and having the youngest coach in the league. I mean, it made a difference. I think you connected on a different level, and I think you set the bar. So great to have you. Great to have you on our show. So.
Well, I appreciate it for having me on. Thanks a lot, guys.
Well, we love sharing stories, and really our guests give us this great opportunity to share stories that make a difference, stories that matter.
Yeah, and we certainly wouldn't be able to do it without the sponsors.
So yes, like the Centurylink Arena, the Grove Hotel, and Fame Fresh Air Media Entertainment. So we're so grateful for some of our sponsors.
Right, and of course we're grateful to you, the viewers, for all the support you've been giving us.
So don't forget, share your stories, because your voice matters.
It certainly does here on Our Voice.